Well, good evening. This is Gina Tudela. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live right here in Poolsbo, Washington, near Keyport. And tonight I am going to share with you memorable blooms. This is a cling stamp set. That means it's made with the red rubber. I'll show that to you. Let me pull this off. You always want to keep this, and the shiny side goes to cover the labels. So this is a red rubber, and this mounts right onto the blocks, your clear blocks. And letter D and letter C are the ones that you'll need. And probably not E, F. No, not F, because I'm trying to think. But D is the one, because you can turn the block sideways to do your saying. But when I make my cards, I don't put a saying on there. I add the saying later. So we are going to use this stamp. And this will fit on there for the size I'm using. And we're going to use this one. And we're using the greenery. So, and the sayings in here is, you mean the world to me. You are awesome. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. Thanks so much. Love and thanks. You've been on my mind. So it's like a thinking of you. Anyways, this also does come with a set of dies. I'm not going to use the dies tonight. I probably will later, but it comes with a set of 6 dies. This one here coordinates with this one. And then this makes a window, or you can use it for a window or layering. It's got several different types of stitches. So one cuts out, and then another cuts out again, so it has 2 different frames. And then here's the greenery. And then this one is this one. And this one is this one. And then this one is by itself. And it'll cut all of that out. So it is cheaper. If you do use dies too, you're better off buying it as a bundle. But tonight I'm just showing it as a stamp set. Now I did bring in an embossing folder, which I haven't used yet. And it's called Distress Tile 3D Die. You will need a die cutting embossing machine, and this is the 3D one. So it will not work in the mini machine. It has to work in either the Stampin' Cut emboss machine or one of the other ones out on the market. And then of course we're going to bring in some beautiful rhinestone basic jewels. Of course, this vanilla and black check ribbon, which you can actually color with your Stampin' Blends. So let's get started. I'm using Memento Black because we'll be using the blends. And I'm using Balmy Blue because we're going to use a blending brush to show the tile on one of the cards. So, hello Bea, hello Linda. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it, ladies. So one's going to be a portrait, and 2 are going to be a landscape. So I'm going to show you different ways of creating these cards, especially if you're needing sympathy, birthday, or just thinking of you cards. All right. So first off, on these pieces, we're going to go ahead and do the embossing first. I'm pulling these out. And grab one more. I had them all separated. And I'll give you the measurements. So these, which are going to be your second layer, are, where's my ruler? I just had it. Okay. They are going to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So we're going to put them in this embossing folder. Now the good thing is, this is regular basic white. It's not the thick white. And we can put all 3 in and emboss one time. Isn't that cool? So we're going to lay that in there before I bring that big machine up here. Alright. Alright. So you need the platform number 1. Place your embossing folder in the center. Not too close to the top. Stay away from the top. And then you need number 4. 1 and 4 and the embossing folder in between. Now let's bring that big machine in here. Texture always adds depth to your card. Now, you don't have to add it, but I have all different types of crafters, all different levels. So once we put it sandwiched together, we're just going to put it in the machine and roll it. And it's going to go all the way through. And you are going to hear a pop right like that at the very end. Pull that out. Now, if it was a regular thick cardstock, you can only do 1 piece at a time. Because this was thin, or if it's a lightweight piece of paper or copy paper, you can do that. So let's move this out of the way. All right. Now I can put these back with the other cards. 1, 2. So can you see that distressed look? Wait a second. How come my camera is stuck? I see I'm frozen. Why is that? Alrighty. Let's close it. Bring it back. Linda, can you see anything she's showing? Can't see the thing she's doing. Got it. Alright, let's see what's happening here. Doesn't make any sense. Let me go to Properties. Click on Project. It's the project one that's not in, because y'all can see me here. It's the project one. Let's see why that is not doing it. Okay, let's go back. Bring that back in. Now, can y'all see me now? Okay, so here's a distressed look. So it's not solid all the way through. You see that? I'm back up, girls. So, let's see. Y'all should be able to see me. Yeah, you should. You should be able to see me. B says yes. I had to just refresh the frame. For some reason, it froze up. Okay. Wait till Linda gets it. She ain't said anything yet. So we're going to take the balmy blue. Now you're good. Okay, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I had to go back and do OBS Studio and then go back and then click on it. So, there we go. Got it. So we're going to take the blending brush, and we have 2 sizes of these. So I just use the regular size. This is the larger one. And we're going to start off the paper, and I want you to see the distressed look. You can't see it, and that's why I'm just using a soft blue, because it will go with all of them. And you just tap it around the pad, and then go off the paper, then bring it on. And this will help show the distressed look. There we go. See that? So it's all there. Okay, so we're going to move that to the side. Now, this one's going to be a portrait card. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to go ahead and fold this in half. And you can use a bone folder if you've got one, but if you don't have one, you can just go ahead and, okay, where did I do my, there it is. And just go up and down, or just use your finger. Either way, you don't have to have one if you don't have one. Okay, this is lemon lime twist. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our multi-purpose glue, the Tombow, the green glue, and we're going to add it to the 3D embossing image. You don't want to use dry adhesive. It does not want to stay glued. You either have to use a wet glue or tear tape or dimensionals. We're going to go ahead and mount that on here. Just go all the way around. Then this is a 2 3/4, I believe. I always do it on the metric side. I don't know why I do that. 2 3/4 inch old olive green square. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and mount that with the wet glue as well. And I'm going to turn this as a diamond. Okay, and we'll bring this up because I want to put ribbon at the bottom. And I don't want to bring it all the way up. I want to make it even with the 3 sides. Top and the right and the left. There we go. Because this one's going to have the greenery. So happy St. Patty's Day for all of y'all. And I heard the story on K-Love this morning. Do you know there was a man that was named St. Patty's? But he wasn't Irish. But he went to Northern Ireland back in the 4th century. So if you ever want to know the story about how St. Patrick's Day came around, go check that out on Google. Very interesting. Okay. Now, we want to stamp this image with this nice greenery. And we're going to use the Memento Black. I say, but I put the ink pad. I know I had it out here. And since this has never been inked up before, we do want to prime it. And stamp it. And if you did not want to have to color it, you could stamp it in Old Olive or Lemon Lime Twist. But I want to color it. There we go. Close that up and move this to the side. Alright. We're going to go ahead and mount that. Then we'll color afterwards. I'll do all the coloring last. It's not going to affect it any. There we go. Go ahead and mount that. Situated best as possible. Now, there's our. Or do I want? No, I don't want the black one with that one. I'm going to use that with the other two. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use this. So, we're going to just go ahead and wrap this around. If you don't want to tie a bow, this is the easiest way of doing it. Got my ribbon scissors out of here. You cut one just a little bit longer than the card on either side. And then you just make a bow. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. I just want to cut that straight. And I can do it afterwards. Alright, let's get our tear tape on the back of this. Alrighty, take the tape. This is one of my leftovers from my paper pumpkin. There we go. I'm just going to mount that on there. And add that one. Not that. Okay. Before I mount the second one, I want to make sure I got it straight. Don't want it twisted or crooked. That looks good. All right. And yes, you can peel that off. And then I might add white glue to the rest of it. Just try not to get too close to your outside edge because you don't want that seeping out. Okay, now we're going to mount it to our card base. And then we'll go back and color all three when we get all three done. And then we'll put a piece of tear tape on the back of that bow. Or you can use glue dots. But since I already have this here, that's what I usually use. Don't have to have everything. There we go. And then is when I trim the edge. I don't trim it till after I get it on the card. Okay. Now we'll add the jewels and stuff after we get our coloring done. There's the first one. Now let's go to our second one. So this one, we already did the embossing. And this one I didn't want to put blue on it. I will do it on the purple one, the Highland Heather. So this is a landscape card. So this is measured 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to go ahead and fold this in half. Okay. And then on this one, we want to mount this piece to the real red. So remember that this was 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, then embossed. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to mount these two together. Okay. I can't see what anybody wrote here. I got to scroll down. Okay. Scroll that up. Yep, we can see. Okay, gotcha. Alright. Yeah, I didn't look at the screen quick enough, girls. Then I saw that I was frozen when I went to see the embossing machine. Okay, go ahead and glue that, center that best as possible. Okay. Now this one here is going to go this way, and then this is going like that. So we'll go ahead and mount the green one. This is a 2 3/4 inch square of old olive, and I'm going to make it even here, here, and here. And I think this is a 2 1/4 inch square. Yep, 2 1/4 inch square. And we have to stamp that. So don't want to do any mounting of that. So I'm going to use the red gingham. And this one here, we're going to go like this. And then like this. And then we're going to trim it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put tear tape on the first piece. You don't always have to do a bow. But ribbon just adds another type of texture to a card. Okay. Put that down. Make sure I have that right. I do. I'm going to flip this over. Put a piece of tear tape on there. We peel these off and then add our wet glue so we can mount it to our card base. Move that ribbon out of the way so it's not in our area of working. And try not to put any wet glue on ribbon. It's got tear tape already on it, but I do put it around it. There we go. Now we're going to mount this to here. And center it best as possible. You don't have to be perfect. Remember that. Now we're going to stamp with is it this image? Yes, it was this image. Okay. Memento black. Remember, when you're using a brand new stamp, you have to prime it. Okay, and because that stamp is so much bigger than this memento pad, bring the stamp pad to the stamp. Most definitely. Okay, now we're just going to bring it right in that window. Count to 5. And there we go. This one, we don't want to mount it because the coloring is on the outside edges, so we will wait on that. But we'll go ahead and put that to the side and go to our next one. I'm going to do it the other way. Okay. All right, and then close this up and go to the last one. This one we're using Highland Heather, and this is our last image. This reminds me of the florets that came out I think it came out right before, during 2019, before COVID hit in March of 2020. But this same flower was in a set that was available during the month of November of 2019. And I still have that stamp set with dies. But I just love that flower design. So here's this one. This is a distress. So this one here, I do want to add a little bit of color, but not all over, just in certain areas. The other one I showed you all over. But this one I just want to do in a couple of areas, just like a distress look. So those 3 corners is perfect. That's all we need. The name of the embossing folder is the Distress Tile 3D. Yeah. It's in the online store. It's not in the catalog. It'll probably be in the new annual catalog when that comes out, but I know it's in the online store because I just got it like 3 weeks ago. But I was waiting for my memorable blooms, which I had ordered from Julie Gardner's. She's one of my directs, and I go to her house on the 2nd Friday of each month to play and have fun and create with her and her friends. So there we go. So see, you don't have to have a bone folder. You can just use your fingers. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and do this. Now on this one here, we're going to go ahead and add the ribbon on the white piece before we mount it onto the purple piece. And this is all we need. We're just going to go across, and we're going to center it best as possible. Then we're going to flip that over, and we're going to add our tear tape. Okay, rub that real good, burnish that, so that way it peels up for you. And then we'll put it on this side. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and peel this off and then add the wet glue and mount it to this Highland Heather, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Remember, this is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. I like to say the measurements just in case people don't catch it on the first or the second card. Whenever I do a demonstration, most of the time, all the card bases, everything is similar in size, so people don't think they have to cut this, this, and this. Okay, this one, I'm going to tilt it at an angle. Like I said, I like to show variation because everybody creates differently. And what I may like, they may not like. So that's why I like to show a variation. Now we're going to go ahead and mount this to our white card base, which this is a landscape. Let's add our wet glue. And I just usually put a little bit in the center. Don't have to use much. This is very economical when it comes to using it. And I can see that I didn't fold this card very nicely. So let me fix that. There we go. All right. So here's another 2 3/4 inch square of old olive. Okay. And then this one is going to go just like this at an angle. And we go ahead and add our wet glue. Whenever you have, it has to be wet glue or tear tape or dimensionals when you have embossed background texture. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to go ahead and stamp this cute floret. Remember, we have to prime this. There we go. And I'm going to stamp it best to stamp it dead center. Count to 5. There it is. Just like that. Now we can close up our memento pad. We're done with that. Okay. Roll this all up here. Move that out of the way. Now we can go ahead and mount this. This had time to dry. You don't want to really handle it while you first stamp it, because then you can smear it, which is what we don't want to do after we just got started. And have almost all the card done and then smear it. That's just a rude awakening to us. There we go. Okay. Now we're ready for coloring. So here's number 3. Number 2, and of course I dropped a square. And you can use your choice. I'm just using Stampin' Blends, but you can use colored pencils. You can use the Stampin' Right markers. If you use the Stampin' Right markers, you have to use StazOn ink. You can't use Memento. Memento is only for the alcohol markers. So let me just get a couple out here and get busy coloring. So I'm going to do the greenery first, because it's going to be the easiest. And so I'm going to use Lemon Lolly. And you don't have to be perfect, girls. This is just easy coloring. I'm telling you what. I love a line design that's not real detailed, because it is easy to color. But we have, there you go, there's the yellow. Now we're going to go back with light old olive. And then I'm just going to come in here. This is the marker that's about had it. Ah, that end is definitely done. Yeah, I can use this end. Okay. I'm going to highlight on one side to make it where it looks like it's watercolored. There we go. And then right here, we'll go and do this part right here, and then we'll This one. You shouldn't be hearing me. This marker is done. Believe me, it's going in the garbage after the video. I'll have to go find another one. There we go. So I want this a little bit darker on one side. And I want it darker on that side, and this side. There we go. There's that one. And we'll add the jewels. Now here's this one. So you don't think you got to have a whole bunch of colors, okay? So I'm just going to go and highlight a couple of the flowers in yellow. This is Lemon Lolly. Then we're going to go back with bubble gum. Bubble bath. Bubble bath. I don't know why I said bubble gum. Bubble bath. I love this pink. Such a pretty color. It really is. So I'm just highlighting a couple of areas to make it a little bit darker. Same here on this part. And then I see a bloom here. And there we go. Just highlight that. And then here's a blue, but I need a red. So I don't think I want to use this. I want to use the red. Okay, there's the green. Alright. Here's another light olive. Hopefully this is nice. Oh yeah. See the difference, girls? Most definitely. Big difference with a good marker. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I want to make those other ones little red blooms. I didn't want the flowers to be, the big ones be the red, because it just overpowers the card. So whatever dark color you use, it needs to be on a small item. Just to give you a heads up when it comes to coloring, because otherwise it just overpowers the card. So a lot of people ask me that tip, and I say that's what you do. You definitely try to find something that's small enough but you can still use it for that card. Alright, so let's find the real... There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make these little buds red. There's one. There's two. And where's one more? Right there. Okay, now, then, this is Granny Apple Green. We want two different tones of green. You don't want to have the same green all the way through, because then that would just not look nice. So, we want to have a variation. Just remember, when you look at a floral decor, yeah, I forgot the pink on there. Gotta go back and hit that. Go there, there. Miss that. I'll highlight right there. And right there. But I missed the pink on that one flower. And this one's all done coloring. I forgot about that right there. Now just highlight that center. Highlight there. There we go. So there's that one. See? You can see the difference in the colors. So, we're going to go ahead and glue that down. The name of the stamp set is Memorable Blooms. Memorable Blooms. I have it hashtagged with the video of all what I use, so that just in case y'all didn't see that. But it'll be there. Okay, we'll glue that on. There's that one. And now all we got left is this one. I gotta find that nice purple. Of course, it's purple. Oh my goodness. Really? There it is. Okay, so go ahead and color this. Now, I want the center to be a different color. I'll go back and highlight this one. So when you use your Stampin' Blends, make sure your lids close and click. I'll make pink on the center part. So it looks like it's two-tone. Now I'm just going back around. Make it a little bit darker, just in a couple of areas. So it looks like it's watercolored. It really looks nice when you do that. Alright, so let's go back with Granny Apple Green, and then we'll highlight with the light old olive to show definition. You don't have to be a real big expert when it comes to coloring. Believe me, this just makes it so nice. It looks like you did it professionally, right? So I'm going to use the writer's tip and just highlight that side that's got the veins so they stand out. And that's all there is to it. Okay, now we're going to add our jewels. This will bring these to life. And these are the basic rhinestone jewels. And we're going to pull this out. Okay, there's that. And take your pick tool, or you can use your pair of paper snips. And I'm going to use one large and a medium one, and then a small one. There's that one. There's that. And then here's this one. Put it right on that beautiful flower. The medium one. There where I have that black scuff mark. And then a small one over here. So there's that one. And then here's this one. We're just going to go ahead and use two small ones on the flowers. That just makes that look nice. And then that one. And then that one. I'm doing 5. There's that. So, there are the 3 cards. So there you go. So let me move it over here because it just doesn't all fit in the picture. So hope y'all enjoyed those. Have a wonderful week. Thanks again, and take care. Be sure to share with your friends. These are very easy and wonderful cards, and you can use any outline stamp. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be any outline stamp. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. Before you make fucking plans.